The team at Technology for Hotels knows how busy you are, so we've created this concise briefing to keep you up to date on key happenings in the hotel industry. Let's dive in. So today we're really aiming to cut through the noise, give you, the leaders in our industry, a quick but really solid overview of what's actually important this week.
Exactly. It's about getting straight to the point.
We'll cover some key ground new openings, strategic buyouts and investments, some really interesting industry trends, and of course, who's moving where in leadership roles.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
All right. First up, new openings and developments. Where are the flags being planted across Australia? Seems like a busy time for development.
It really is. And some are quite strategic. Take the InterContinental Brisbane. It's actually their first property in Brisbane City.
Oh, really? In CBD?
Yep. Right on Elizabeth Street. We're talking 319 rooms, a rooftop club lounge, big ballrooms, all the luxury touches you'd expect.
Standard intercon luxury, then.
Pretty much. But the interesting part is the timing and the future plans. It's set for a major transformation in 2026.
Ahead of the Olympics.
Exactly. Gearing up for 2032, it really shows that long-term play, investing now for a major future event, solidifies their Queensland presence.
Smart move. What else is new on the brand front in Australia? Any other debuts?
Yeah, Hyatt's brought a new brand down under. Hyatt House South Melbourne has opened its doors.
Hyatt House, that's their extended stay brand, isn't it?
That's the one. 97 rooms, but they're designed more like studios and suites. Residential feel, fully equipped kitchens.
So targeting that longer stay market. Hybrid workers, maybe.
Precisely. Hybrid workers, families, anyone needing more than just a few nights. They've even got pet-friendly policies, 24/7 fitness, self-service stuff. It's about bringing that, home-like experience to Melbourne.
Definitely caters to changing travel needs. And Melbourne seems to be a hotspot because there's that dual-branded project too, right? On Bourke
Oh,
Street.
yeah, that's a big one. Hotel Indigo and Holiday Inn side by side, due Q3 2025.
Interesting combo. How's that working?
Well, it's IHG working with Steadfast Capital. They're actually revitalizing some historic Art Deco buildings, which is great to see.
There's a character.
Totally. So Hotel Indigo will have that laneway vibe, bold art. Holiday Inn's going for a more Scandinavian feel, probably better for families.
So distinct identities, but shared development.
Exactly. Altogether, it's 452 rooms. The goal is really to, inject some energy into the CBD, blending modern comfort with that local Melbourne flavor.
Okay, so lots happening on the development side. Let's switch gears to the money side.
Yeah.
Acquisitions and investments. What strategic moves have caught your eye?
Well, Minor Hotels made an interesting acquisition. They've bought and rebranded a resort in Thredbo Valley. It's now Oaks Lake Krakenback Resort.
Krakenback, okay. Near the ski fields.
Right on the edge of Kosciuszko National Park. About 15 minutes from Thredbo and Perisher. It's got 110 keys.
And a strategy there.
It ties directly into their focus on wellness and experience-driven travel.
Yeah.
Especially for the domestic market, which is still huge.
Makes sense. Adventure, nature, wellness. Ticks those boxes.
Definitely. And it fits with other Oaks properties they're launching in 2025. Shows confidence in that domestic leisure and, wellness integrated travel space.
Now, you mentioned domestic focus. But is that wellness market getting a bit crowded? Or is there still room?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think generic wellness, maybe, but targeted, authentic experiences like Minor seems to be aiming for. There's still definite growth potential there. It's about differentiation now.
Got it. Okay, another interesting financial move, Meriton Group stepping into a new market in Queensland. What was that about?
Ah, yes, that was quite significant. Meriton bought into the management rights market in Queensland. First time for them there.
Management rights, so managing apartment complexes, basically.
Essentially, yes. They acquired the rights for 3 big Brisbane properties, Newstead Towers, Broadway on Ann, and Aqua Newstead. Over 710 lots in total.
Wow, that's a big first step.
It is. It's a multi-million-dollar deal. It shows, first, diversification for Meriton beyond just development, and second, real confidence in Brisbane's accommodation sector long-term.
Driven by the Olympics buzz again, maybe?
Partly, I'm sure, but it also points to a broader trend, Big players looking for those recurring revenue streams from management, not just the initial build. It's about sustained value.
Right, managing the asset over its life cycle. Okay, let's zoom out a bit now. Industry trends. What are some of the bigger shifts shaping things?
One key thing is Accor's doubling down on franchising. Their deputy CEO, Jean-Jacques Morin, highlighted this recently.
More franchising, how much?
Well, franchised hotels are now 60% of their portfolio. That's up from 50% just back in 2019. And they expect it to hit 75%.
75%? Wow.
Yeah, it fuels their asset-light strategy, right? Faster growth, less capital tied up in bricks and mortar. He described it as faster, more profitable. Even luxury brands are getting on board more now.
So that trend's definitely strong here in Australia, too.
Absolutely. Australia is right there with that global trend. But Morin also talked about shifting travel patterns. Geopolitics is having an impact.
Like the Middle East conflict.
Exactly. He mentioned things like a 30% drop in travel from Canada to the U.S. and maybe a 5–10% global dip in travel heading stateside.
Interesting. So where are people going instead?
Well, for example, European destinations are seeing more visitors from places like Japan, Korea,
Mhm.
Taiwan. Travelers are redirecting. It just highlights how, agile we all need to be in our marketing and planning.
That agility must have been a theme at Accor's recent conference.
You bet. Their Pacific Leaders Conference on the Gold Coast. The theme was LA'd, Leadership, Elevate, Accelerate, Deliver, all about navigating this changing landscape.
Bringing the leaders together. Any key outcomes?
Lots of strategic discussions, workshops. They also had their awards. Gala Novotel Perth Murray Street took Hotel of the Year. But the main thrust was equipping their GMs and regional teams to, well, lead through change.
Good focus. And
Yeah.
speaking of performance and recognition, Choice Hotels got some nods recently.
They did, yeah. Global recognition through the Tripadvisor Traveler's Choice Awards. 14 of their properties across Asia-Pac, Australia, NZ, India landed in the top 10% worldwide.
That's impressive. Based purely on guest reviews.
Purely on guest reviews, it really speaks volumes about their franchisees' commitment. And it wasn't just those 14 globally, nearly 300 Choice hotels got recognized. It's a great reminder, isn't it? Focus on that guest experience consistently, and it pays off.
Absolutely fundamental. Now, shifting to the luxury end, Marriott released a report, The Intentional Traveler. What insights did that offer?
A really fascinating look at luxury trends in Asia Pacific. The big takeaway is a shift towards purpose-driven travel. Wellness is huge. 90% prioritize it, and personalization is key.
People spending more, too.
Apparently, 72% plan to increase their luxury travel spend. But they want deeper, more meaningful trips. Think curated itineraries, nature escapes, family connections, even to emerging spots like Bangladesh, alongside places like New Zealand.
So it's not just about flashy luxury anymore.
Less so. It's more about enrichment, unique experiences. The report even identified new segments, like solo parents traveling luxuriously or Gen Z looking for impact travel. It's definitely evolving the definition of luxury.
Operators need to adapt their offerings then.
Yeah.
Finally, on trends, Vivid Sydney, always a big one for the city. How did hotels fare this year?
Extremely well. It really lifted the city, especially turning that usually quiet winter period into a boom time. Occupancy was near 90% on peak weekends.
That's huge for winter.
It is. Massive boost. You had almost 200,000 people attending each Saturday. The economic impact is just enormous, over $1.3 billion in visitor spend generated since it started.
Proof of the power of major events.
Absolutely. And it's locked in again for 2026, May 22nd to June 13th. Something for everyone to plan around.
Okay, great overview of the big trends. Now let's do a quick run through stars in motion. Who's moving where in the industry?
Right, a quick look at key appointments. Matt Curran is now retreat manager at Salter Brothers Hospitality. John Bernard Rousing, chief engineer at Paradox Sydney. Elizabeth Gee, appointed assistant general manager at Prendeville Group. Russell Cool is the new director of operations at Minor Hotels.
Minor Hotels, busy group.
They are. Mark Denham takes on director of ops, hotel, and residences at Mondrian Gold Coast. Anoet Stahlbaum is now area general manager at Accor.
Okay.
Kay Zerbitos on secondment as hotel manager at TFE Hotels. Ron Turner, maintenance manager at Crystalbrook Vincent. Killy Brady, director of revenue over at Kokomo Private Island, Fiji.
Nice Fiji posting.
Indeed. Then at the new 25 Hours Hotel, the Olympia, Christina Nang Lam is Director of People and Culture, Sophie Meng is Commercial Director, Marion Guillermet is Director of Revenue, and Eva Zhang is Director of Finance.
Building the team there.
Looks like it. Amelia Rockcliffe is Area GM for Extended Stay Select Service for Accor up in Port Douglas. Laurel Fitt, Director of Sales at Novotel Geelong.
Got it.
Morgan Meredith, Hotel Manager at the Unbound Collection by Hyatt. Oswin Ribeiro is Hotel Manager at Paradox Sydney. And finally, Dirk Davey is the new General Manager of Metropole Central Hotel in Melbourne.
Okay, quite a few significant moves across the board there. Good to keep track of. That wraps up this week's 5-Star Weekly Briefing. Thanks for tuning in and staying informed with the latest in the hotel industry. Don't forget to check out our 5-Star Conversations podcast, where Brendan Granger from Technology for Hotels sits down with the industry's most influential leaders to uncover their journeys, insights, and the future of hospitality. It's a must-listen for anyone passionate about elevating their guest experience and driving innovation in the hotel world. Until next time, stay well and stay ahead. See you next week.